Sombra buffs and tweaks just hit the PTR, and no, unfortunately she still can no longer contest objectives while in stealth. That's probably for the best. Here are the changes on screen right now, and they are all essentially mini buffs. We're going to go through them one by one here in this lobby, show off some gameplay with a beautiful assistant to help us out. So let's get started. So the first change is EMP now disables Wrecking Ball's minefield proximity mines for 10 seconds. This is something that you sort of just expected to work anyway, right? Well, now it does. You see the mines get dropped here, the EMP go off, it just completely disables the mines for a 10-second duration. Does not outright destroy them, however, so as soon as the EMP effect does wear off, well, you gotta be out of dodge by that time. Fairly simple mechanic, not too much to say about it. It makes Sombra's EMP pretty devastating now that it can disable these mines, it can disable Symmetra's wall with just one click. Pretty powerful stuff and going a long way to usher Sombra into the meta, at least for the first week where Hammond is released on live. She's going to be an excellent counter to the hamster, especially given that hack, which is the ability that we're moving on to next, does actually remove Hammond from his hamster ball. Hack can now also cancel Sombra's reload animation when cast. Not really too much to discuss with this one, obviously it's just another tiny buff for any of those situations where getting off a hack that is just super important and super high priority to get off. It's one less obstacle in your path. Yeah, fairly simple stuff. Next up we have stealth. Now the detection radius was increased to 4 meters to kind of help compensate for the fact that it can now last forever in Sombra. Of course her movement speed was reduced by a little bit more as well while in stealth just so that it wasn't completely broken. Now detect radius has been reduced back down to 2 meters, meaning that you're even harder to detect once again, just like you are on live right now. Just to give a bit of a visual representation of what that's going to look like, you can see Sombra go in stealth here, and I'm kind of creeping my way towards her position. Of course she's staying exactly where she is, and man, it turns out that on bigger characters like Hammond, where, you know, your kind of center of mass decides, I suppose, where the detect radius begins and ends, you have to get pretty goddamn close to actually unveil Sombra now. 2 meters seems pretty insane. And yes, I know that this is the way it is on live right now, but you know what, invisibility actually has a very short duration on live, so you don't really notice it too much, but this is pretty legit and pretty much secures Sombra's stealth as one of the most powerful, just regular abilities in the game, at least in my humble opinion. And the last change, well, a couple of changes to Translocator. One, it can now be destroyed with the interact key without looking at it, which I guess is a bonus. Of course, if you are standing next to Symmetra's teleporter and you're in range to use it, then hitting the interact key will just make you use the teleporter rather than destroying your Translocator randomly. The teleporter will of course always take priority over that. An odd little interaction that happens right now on the PTR that I don't see making to live. Maybe it's some kind of bug or it's some kind of failsafe that I'm not really thinking of right now, but hitting your interact key while your Translocator is recharging off of cooldown just puts the Translocator back on cooldown for like 2 seconds. Very strange stuff, but that happens, so just beware of that if that shit goes live. And the sound cue played out by the Translocator's location is now much more quiet for enemy players. Of course, making your Translocator harder to find, which is key now that it can actually be destroyed. And of course, camped. I guess my sound options are kind of different on both of my clients. So yeah, in my recordings that actually sounds exactly the same to me, but yeah, it's a buff all the same, and that will about do it. Obviously a very short and sweet video, but maybe Sombra mains out there will appreciate this. So those are the patch notes. I've been Tom from the Game Leap team. Of course, we're going to be keeping you guys as up to date as possible whenever changes hit the PTR. So thank you kindly for watching. Do go ahead and subscribe if you want to catch future videos just like this one, and better than this one, because let's face it, this one was a little bit impromptu. What do you think of these changes? Do you think that Sombra was powerful enough without these? Do you think she's going to be broken now on the live servers if this just goes live as is? Let us know down below, and we will see you guys in the next one.